Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning how to draft a short sleeve and a long sleeve, a basic sleeve. It's beginners friendly. You need a marker, a ruler, your pattern paper, and scissors with a tape. I don't have a ruler, that's why I'm making use of a phone case. Please pardon me. By my next video, by God's grace, I'm going to get a ruler. First thing, you are going to draw a straight line, which is your start up point or your starting line, anyone you want to call it, but it's a starting line. When you draw your starting line, the next thing you're going to do is get your tape. You're going to measure our bicep line, but before then, for my starting line, I come in by 4 inches. You can come I came in by 4 inches. You can decide, as you can see, I'm showing you I came by 4. You can decide to turn your tape to the other side. This is just show you that some people like turn their tape leftwards or rightwards. Anyhow you turn your tape, just make sure you get the accurate measurement. Then I went down by 4 inches. You can decide to use 4.5 inches. You can decide to use 5 inches, as the case may be, which is our bicep line. From the starting line, you come down by 4 or 5 inches. As any, if it's 4.5, it's 5 inches you want. You mark a point. This is me doing it the second time. Pardon me, if you have a ruler, you don't need to do it the second time. Because I don't have a ruler, that's why I'm doing it the second time. Then you draw a straight line across. Make sure that the line is straight. A straight line across. That will be our, this is like our bicep line. So my paper is folding. I decided to use something to hold it so that it won't cover, like roll up and cover whatever I'm doing, so that I can see clearly. So next thing we're going to do is to draw or draft our the length of our sleeve. The length of our sleeve, you can decide to use 8 inches, you can decide to use 12 inches, you can decide to use 10 inches, but whichever way, it depends on your preference on how you want the length of your sleeve to be. Me, I'm using 10 inches, so I'm marking the point. Put your tape from your starting line downwards to mark the length of your sleeve. So me, I'm making use of 10 inches, but like I said, you can decide to use 6, you can decide to use 8, you can decide to use 12, whatever you like. This is me doing it the second time because, like I said, I don't have a ruler, so I need to make sure the lines are accurate. Then you draw a straight line across. Make sure the lines are straight and make sure your pattern is folded into two. So that's the length was the starting line, the bicep line. The second line is the bicep line. Then the third line is the length of our sleeve. So the next thing we're going to do is come in from our starting line. Remember, we came in by 4 inches. Then we go to our bicep line. Whatever measurement is your bicep. Sorry, I did not put a picture. Probably I'll put a picture in the next video or under the cap comment section so that you can see what a bicep looks like. So the next thing, you must measure your bicep, round your bicep, whatever measurement you get, you divide it by 2. If your bicep is 10, you divide it by 2, you get 5. If your bicep is 20, for instance, you divide it by 2, you get 10. So my own bicep is 14 and divided by 2 is 7 inches. So I mark my 7 inches. I make a point, that's marking my 7 inches. Then I went further to add 1.5 inches for the seam allowance, so that in case one can grow fatter, you can decide to get allowance. So this is me still turning my tape. So wherever side you want to turn your tape, or whatever direction, if it's the left side, the right side, just make sure you get to the point where you can get to the right measurement. This is me showing you how I got 7 inches. That's my bicep line divided by 2, and then 1.5 inches.
And so, yes, remember we came in, I remember I came down by, we came in first of all by 4 inches. This is just me re explaining it, and this is it by 4 inches, showing you clearly how I came in by 4 inches. and decided to turn the tape like I said before. Anyhow you want to turn it, just make sure you get it. And then I went down by, I changed my mind to go down by 4.5 inches. But if you have done 4 inches, you can still leave it that way. It's still going to work out fine. Like I said before, you can use 4.5, you can use 5 inches. So whatever you have, you make a straight line across, then you bend your tape, as you can see, and mark the midpoint. From that 4 inches upward, you place your tape downwards, the bicep line, fold your tape into two, and mark the midpoint. So what you are going to do now, if you have a curve ruler, you can use a curve ruler to make a curve, but I'm going to use my free hand. So you're going to start from the point where my hand is touching to where we just marked just now, which is the midpoint. You make a curve line. I'm using free hand, but if you have your curve ruler, you can make use of your curve ruler. This is just me making, as you can see. So next thing, from that our bicep measurement we are going to make another curve. This is what I'm doing, making a curve to meet up to the midpoint of what I did before. So you just make it up, and then if you have a curve ruler, like I said, you can make use of your curve ruler, but if you don't, you can still make use of your free hand. So from the midpoint down to the point of where we measure our bicep line with our sleeve allowance, that is where you would draw another line facing upwards to meet. If you notice, the way I drew the line is not the same direction. I hope you understand. The next thing is our sleeve. You go to measure your round sleeve. Mine is 12 inches divided by 2, just like we did for the bicep. My own is 6. I mark. Then, just like we did here, we get 1 point. We got 1.5 inches for our seam allowance. You add also your 1.5 inches. You mark. My round sleeve for sleeve length is 6, and then added 1.5 inches, making it 7.5. So now from that point, from the bicep line, from our seam allowance of our bicep line, we draw a straight line down to our seam allowance for our sleeve length. So as you can see, our short sleeve is ready. This is just me trying to, color it out so that you can see it clearly. I use a pen to mark it. This is just me using my marker. As you can see, I use my free hand to draw it. But you know how we did a graph back then in economics? That is how it's looking like. But I'm sure it's something you can do, and I hope you understand. This is just me coloring it so clearly so that you can see the lines clearly and know the points we are going to cut out. Now, when we are cutting out, we won't just be careful. We're going to cut this down part first, the side, then we get to the up part. So that's just basically it. See how it's shaped. The direction that we're going to cut is just like the way I said. So, like I said, we are going to cut it out. This is just me cutting it out. Cut it out so carefully from the down to the side. Be careful when you're marking it so that you would remember your seam allowance and be careful and mark it correctly. And then the up part of the pattern paper. You can decide to do this directly on your fabric, but for the sake of this tutorial, I decided to use the pattern paper for it. So this is what we have afterwards. This is me taking out this stuff so that you can see clearly. I used it because the paper was flying out. And then this is just the whole thing. Our short sleeve is ready. And please let me know if this tutorial is helpful for you. It's beginner friendly, like I said.
Let me know if the tutorial is helpful in the comment section, and if you need a soft copy or something, just let me know. So now we'll go to the long sleeve. We're done with the short sleeve. Now is the long sleeve. This is our starting line, our bicep line. The third line is our elbow line, and then the fourth line will be our sleeve length. So just like we did in the short sleeve, we come in by 4 inches. You make a point. This is me making a point, and then this is me making a point. This is still me turning my tape to show you that if you turn your tape the right side or the left side, just make sure you get the 4 points you mark. Then this is me showing you the 4 points. From there, you come to your bicep line. Your bicep measurement is your measurement divided by 2. Whatever you get, you mark. This is me marking my bicep line, making a point there. Then you add 1.5 inch from that point you made initially. You mark. This is me marking it. Then you bring your tape downwards to your bicep line, which is 4.5 inches. You can decide to use 5 inches, you can decide to use 4 inches. Then you bend your tape into two, you get to get the midpoint. You mark, make a point at where the midpoint is. Then this is just similar, very, very similar to the short sleeve. Then you make a curve to from that startup line to the midpoint. If you have a curve ruler, you can make use of a curve ruler, but this is me using a free hand. You can use a free hand too, depends on how well you are good, and make sure using your free hand the picture or your clothes still comes out very beautiful. So then you connect your allowance down to that point. You mark. This is me marking it. This is me like shading it very well so that you can see the lines carefully, clearly. And then the next thing we'll go to our elbow line. You take your elbow measurement round your elbow. This is me just sorry, my camera did not view my elbow, but I was trying to measure my elbow there. Then whatever you get, you divide your measurement by 2. You mark. Then from that point you also add, just like we did in the bicep line, you also add 1.5 inches, like so. As you see me do, make a point, and then this is me making sure that the point is correct. Make a point, then you connect from the bicep line to the elbow line, a straight line. Sorry, I said I didn't have a ruler here, but if you have a ruler, make use of a ruler. And this is me still using my free hand to draw the straight line. This is to notify you that you are not drawing the line on your exact measurement, but on your seam allowance that you added. The next line, which is the fourth line, we're going to make it is the length of our sleeve. Now this is the long sleeve. So whatever measurement, the length you want the measurement to be, your sleeve length can be 22, can be 24, can be 28, depends on how tall you are or how the height of your client is. So mine, I'm using 23 as the length of my sleeve. You can set to use 22, you can set to use 24. I'm using 23. This is just me showing you. Sorry, my camera is not so big enough, so I was just trying to adjust it so that you can see clearly. This is still me making sure that it's getting to the point of 23. This is me just moving the whole paper around just because I want you guys to see it, and by God's grace I'll get a better way of putting the camera clearly that can capture a larger part of what I'm doing. Then you draw a straight line across. Just draw a straight line across first. This is me drawing a straight line across. After doing that, this is just similar to the short sleeve. The next thing you're going to do is take your wrist measurement, or wherever the length of your sleeve is. She just me taking my wrist measurement. My wrist measurement, I said to use 8 inches, and 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4 inches. You measure your 4 inches and make a point, a mark. Then you add 1.5 inch seam allowance, just like the way we did for the bicep and the elbow line. You mark, and then you connect the points together. Mind you, are connecting the seam allowance, not your main measurement. You connect the point together. Sorry, I didn't have a ruler. Like I'm sure the line is just looking some type of way, but pardon me. Probably my next video I will have a ruler. But if you have a ruler, I advise you make use of your ruler to get a more straight and a better line. So our sleeve is ready. This is what we have. So we're going to cut it out. This is exactly the same thing. It's just that the short sleeve has 3 lines and the long sleeve has 4 lines. This is me cutting it out. So after cutting it out, this is what we have. This is your long sleeve. See, I've labeled it long sleeve, and this is the short sleeve. I hope you understand this tutorial. This is me showing you clearly. If you need a PDF, a soft copy on a step-by-step on this tutorial, I'll be dropping my email below so that you can send me an email. I would send you a step-by-step PDF on how to make your sleeve. Thank you, and see you in my next video.